Okay, perfect. So as I was saying before you joined, Sally, first strikers. The goal is pretty simple, to get the reply from your opening message that will make it irresistible for prospects to reply. This will become a first step in the process of closing your dream clients on a 5K deal that was for one of my other guys. This is pretty much like a VSL, so ignore this part. But the goal stays the same, boys. Goal is to get the reply, and there are some do's and don'ts that you must implement in order to actually get the reply. And I would say continue with the conversation because after you get the reply, which is the first step of closing that deal, ultimately, you don't want to be left on scene, you don't want to get ghosted. And in these battalions, you're going to actually go through every single step of your sales process. So at the end, you're literally going to have all the knowledge in one place. And obviously, after every battalion, I'm going to be sending you these resources so you can save it as well. And yeah, it just becomes unreasonable for you guys not to be signing these deals and getting those commissions. Or in your situation, Sally, just land a deal if you like potentially don't land tomorrow's deal. Fingers crossed you will, but you get the point. The
Yeah.
first message you send to your ideal prospect has one main goal. It's to get you out of their DM requests. What I mean by that is that you need to get to their primary or general section, preferably primary, because, yeah, then for every message that you send, the prospect is gonna get the notification. In general section, most of the people don't even have notifications turned on, so it's kind of harder to get the reply or continue with the conversation because it might stretch for too far away and yeah, speed is the key to success and you know that you want to be engaging in an active conversation. Like I've said, there are lots of do's and even more don'ts when it comes to that first message. And the first thing I want to start with is uniqueness. Uniqueness of your first message is, if not one of the most important things when it comes to outbound appointment setting, because when sending that first message, you being original is the key, because these guys get tons of DMs every single day. And in order for you to actually get the reply, you need to stand out from the crowd. You need to literally stand out from every other person that have ever sent them a message. Be creative and get straight to the point when it comes to the opening message. I wouldn't advise you to overthink it because, bro, it doesn't need to be business related or even their page related like all these other guys are bullshitting about. It just has to be original, relevant in some way, and easy to respond to. Other thing, if you can maybe create a little bit of curiosity, then this is a perfect scenario for getting that first response. Later down the line, I'm just gonna dive into these do's and don'ts. But before I do, creating curiosity by thinking of something so unique will make them want to know more about your true motives, you know? And please, you don't have to be overly formal or polite because you don't even have to introduce yourself. Why am I saying that? Because your personal brand speaks for itself. Realistically speaking, whenever someone sends you a message, the first thing you personally check is their page. You're gonna see if they're a bot, if they have plenty of followers, if they're even active, or they're just spamming these DMs and hoping for a reply. That's not the goal here. We're not some machine guns that are just praying and praying. We're literally targeting all these ideal guys with this message. And obviously, the goal is ultimately to just split test all the messages in order for
Mhm.
us to find the most efficient one, like Kyle is doing right now, and just stick with that one. Obviously, we can adjust it, we can create like a 2.0 version of that same one, but the goal is to just double down on the most efficient one and maximize our reply rate. However, business owners are busy and they can't be bothered to read through pointless messages. Hey, I just came across your page, blah 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 blah. Hey bro, how's the business going? All bullshit. Everyone says that, and therefore you should absolutely stay clear from that because you're first of all stating the obvious. I just came across your page. Like, bro, no shit, you came across my page. How else did you actually reach out to me? And second of all, yeah, it's just too saturated. It's just too saturated, and probably I would say that all the Indian video editors are using one of these two. So once again, I might be too political here, but that's the reality. So we want to avoid those ones. Then I mentioned something about not needing to be formal. I'm gonna dive into it right now. First of all, these are IGDMs, not cold emails. Therefore, you don't need to be formal at all. You need to be unique. This is literally closely connected to uniqueness. You being informal, you using your own slang, you using bro, G, man, haha, loyal, those kinds of things. That's what makes you unique. And you're not a robot. You're just a human being, and you need to point that out in your first message as well. Get that first response is the main goal. Therefore, if you say, greetings, name, I hope you're doing well, I hope this message finds you well, that's complete bullshit as well. So please stay away from that as well. Have a chat with them, build a friendly and trustworthy relationship. You don't want your DMs to sound like a sales bitch or salesy at all. You don't want it to look copy and pasted. One thing that was actually really good before IG introduced this gay thing where you just can send only one message and invite them, send them an invitation. You can't send two messages all at once. But for some people that have opened DMs, you can send two messages. And that's my number one advice for you boys. Play around by sending two messages, which makes it look way more personalized. And when I said that you don't want to copy paste your messages, this is exactly what I mean. Just coming up with some unique approach. Sending two messages is definitely unique, and you can't copy paste two messages. Sequence of two messages pretty much can be copy pasted, but it doesn't look like it. Like if we're being honest, right? Like I said, keep it simple, as short as possible, and just make it easy to reply to. One thing that I want to point out when it comes to outbound campaigns, something that I have personally used, and I would say that's the number one reason why I actually was able to book over 45 calls in a month solely through outbound campaign, was the fact that my openers didn't require a single bit of brain power. This is exactly what I mean when I say keep it simple, as short as possible, and make it easy to reply to. When your message or when the response to your message, to your opening requires a brain power, it's most likely that you won't get a reply. Even though if your message can be replied with yes or no, all good, because we are out there DM requests, which is amazing. Now we're out there DMs and we can continue with our sales process, appointment setting process. And like I've said, that's probably one of the main things why I was able to book over 45 calls a month as an outbound appointment setter, simply because my messages were straight to the point. I literally respected their time frame. Don't ask broad questions or write a statement that will force people to put brain power into a response, because they're not gonna do that. You'll literally be ignored. And especially in today's world where everything is fast paced, all of us have short attention span. TikTok is ruining everyone's lives, Reels is ruining everyone's lives. People can't be bothered. So if we literally just lower our, I would say, lower our expectations and just lower on their level, use it in our favor to just get the reply, that's a win situation. We're literally gonna succeed at what we're trying to do here, which is get the reply. Like I said, use your own brain and test out multiple different approaches and find what works for you. And when it comes to pro tip, you'll realize that for every single one of these things, I like to give you guys a pro tip, something that I have personally used to just be successful at appointment setting. You can optimize your CRM to not only keep the track of all the leads in the pipeline, but also test your opening lines so you can maximize your reply rate. And if I go here, wait a sec. If I go, how can I? Wait. You guys can still see it, hopefully. Can you?
Yeah, no, it's all
Yeah,
good.
man. Yeah,
Still
man.
still can see it.
Okay, perfect. So this is my CRM, something very simple, not the pro CRM machine I'm usually using, but something very simple that I just created because I find it very useful. This is a split testing that I'm talking about. Just create a simple sheet in your CRM, like Google Sheets, hopefully that's what you're using. Create a simple extra sheet, call it split test, and just add message, sent, replied, and response rate. When it comes to response rate, how to actually, wait a sec, I need to refresh it because it says that it needs to connect with my Wi-Fi. So when it comes to this response rate, all you've got to do is just look at this. Press equal, and then divide this part with the previous part and press enter. And for example, you sent 23 messages, got 4 replies, that's 17.39%. Pretty simple stuff. But that's the most important thing. Just adding these 4 simple sections here: message, sent, replied, response rate. And now, based on these things that you can gather here, based on this data right here, you can just optimize your messages. Let's say this, please boys, don't copy paste this one. And I'm actually, when I post it on YouTube, I'm actually gonna blur it out because I don't want for my messages to get oversaturated. So please come up with your own ones, because like I said, put your brain in use. Because obviously, if you use these ones, both me and you are not gonna find it effective because it's just gonna get saturated. The key is uniqueness. But let's say name drop right. This is what I wanna point out here. So right now, this message has 27.0, let's say just 27% reply rate, 144 cents, 39 replies, and then once I get to 200, hopefully, I expect to be getting like that my reply rate is gonna be at about 60, 65 to 70 replies. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just create an extra versions of it. So instead of sending, name drop right, you see, there's this question mark, I can just say it without question mark. And even though it might seem like a very small detail, it just makes the difference for some reason. If I'm being honest, I don't know the science behind it, but it just makes the difference. And that's actually how I came up with all these things right here. There are 16 already tested first striker ideas for you that you can use right now. If I'm being honest, these are the examples I put here for you to use right now if you want, or just adjust it so it actually makes sense for what you're offering. If it's for your own prospecting, adjust it so it makes sense for that. If you're going to be doing outbound campaign for your client, obviously optimize it so it makes sense for that purpose, but you get the point. And when I say already tested, this is exactly what I mean. Just these small details like having a question mark, removing the question mark, just adding, I don't know, some sorts of punctuation right here, whatever. These are literally 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 versions of it. And then once you test it, you're definitely going to see the different results or different data compared to the previous one. And obviously, the one you want to stick with is the one that has the best response rate. And then let's say I use this one without the question mark. I send 200 message. I mean, I send this message to 200 people, and instead of 70 replies that I'm expecting with this one, I've got, let's say, wait, 85 replies. And that's about, let's do the quick maths here. That's about 42.5%. Okay, that's definitely better. And then from here, I'm obviously gonna repeat the whole process all over again and just optimize this one and change something else. And then once again, get to 200, see the reply rate and see if it's even worth it for me to double down on that one. Pretty simple thing. But that's a pro tip for you guys. Then when it comes to opener rules, these don'ts are way more important than do's, because these are definitely gonna determine are you gonna get the reply or not. Don't try too hard to be likable by them. What I mean by that is literally giving them too many compliments. For example, oh bro, I see you're smashing it. How are you able to do such a well? Like, I admire your stuff. Those kinds of things are BS, and no one likes like receiving too many compliments. You just feel uncomfortable and you're gonna get away from that guy. That's at least how I feel. Stating the obvious, I'm sure you guys know what that means. If you reach out to a fitness coach, hey name, I see you're a fitness coach, I see you're smashing it, um, whatever along those lines, just please avoid it. And don't use it by any means. Coming on too strong or coming on too salesy literally means that in your first message you shouldn't be pitching them. you can slightly pitch them by using something like would you be opposed to, would you hate, would you be against something. Those kinds of things are considered you slightly implying the idea of your solution, but you're not being too sales, you're not coming on too strong, because obviously these two are definitely don'ts that you want to avoid. Once again, copy pasted messages and sounding robotic. Sounding robotic is something I mentioned when it comes to being formal, because you want to add your own personal touch into your messages in order to just be unique, I would say. Okay, it's okay to just, I would say, compare yourself with, let's say in this case, me. Okay, I've been in this game for 2 years. You can use my methods, but you don't want to be Chris 2.0. You guys want to be yourself, and that's actually how you guys are gonna stand out in the industry after a long enough period of time, right? And copy pasted messages, I think those speaks for itself. Then, do's. These are the things that you absolutely want to do. Trigger curiosity. The message that you've seen in my split testing sheet was, name drop, right. And that's it. That definitely triggers curiosity. And by the way, it's definitely creative because, yeah, who else is using that besides me and Temi probably? He actually taught me that one. And he actually gave me a permission to use it. So it's all good, boys. But anyways, trigger curiosity. When I name drop someone, I need to, I would say, take a look at their page, because I need to scroll through their followers, through their following, to see who is it that we have, who is the mutual that we both share, right? For example, if someone knows Temi and if they follow him, I'm just gonna say, Temi, right? And that's both triggering curiosity, because they're gonna be like, if there are two Temis in the world that they're following, they're literally gonna be like, wait, bro, which Temi? Like, I know multiple of them. And then that's the reply for me. Or if they know only one Temi, they're gonna say, yeah, bro, what's up? Why are you asking? Anything along those lines. But I've got the reply, which is the most important thing, boys. Remember, being creative, obviously, those kinds of things. Hey, came across your page. I love the most recent reel you posted. Your recent story is so spot on. That's a BS and that's not creative at all. So you see that you need to literally take a minute or so to take a look at their page, and from there, just do your magic. You're a setter. You paid for her professional training, and you guys know how to do those kinds of stuff. Common ground. One, I would say, innovation in this cold outbound appointment setting world is that now at this point your cold outbounds don't even need to be cold. Why and how even? Because you find a common ground. When you have a reason for messaging someone, your outreaches don't even have to be cold. These messages that I've been using, we have a common ground, and that's the direct purpose of why am I actually messaging them. After I get the reply, I can just say simply something like, okay, bro, I've seen you hang around him, some X person, and I just wanted to connect, just wanted to expand my network. By the way, how do you know him? Those kinds of things. And that's how you literally, from being a cold setter, you don't even have to send those cold messages, because you have a reason, direct reason for messaging a certain person. Other thing, finish with a question, because obviously you want to get the reply. If you just have a statement, there's no reason for them to even reply. And split test. I already covered that one. Before we proceed further, any questions, boys? I've been talking for the past 20 minutes or so, so I assume you might have any questions.
No, I'm all good on my end, bro.
Okay, you boys.
When reaching out to someone, how do I know necessarily if the offer is going to be worth my time or not?
Well, you can literally just take a look at their page. You can see if they are even active on that page. For example, when I'm personally reaching out to people, if someone haven't posted a single thing on their personal brand in the past, I would say 3 4 months, I just, I would say, skip them and move on to someone else, because
Mm.
bro, there's millions of people that you can reach out to. And that's before I'm reaching out to someone. But when I reach out to someone and when they reply to me, obviously throughout the conversation, I just finish our conversation off with something like, yo, bro, I just dropped you a follow, so we stay connected, and that's it.
Yeah.
And after they drop your follow back, you can literally track their progress and see if after some time it's gonna be worth it for you to have a conversation with them, to follow up with them. And obviously, you also want to add them into your CRM. So that's at least something that I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Sally? No
Yeah,
question.
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. I'm just
Perfect.
listening.
Okay, so today is not gonna be like the battalion as long as it was before because I have these 16 already tested first striker ideas for you to use, and I'm literally immediately after this battalion gonna share them in the Telegram. But when it comes to these few things, like I've said, you obviously don't want to literally copy paste those because does it make sense for you to say, let's say, I might be able to multiply by X your sales every month with your unique mechanism that you're setting for? Would you be opposed to hear more about it if you're like setting for a B2C offer? Doesn't make any sense. You get me, boys. But the layout is here. And like I said, this is literally something that you can implement immediately after this call when you're doing your outbound campaign. Yo, would you be opposed to finding out how you might be able to ideal outcome? Something I'm personally using for my B2C offer where I coach people how to make money with appointment setting is, yo, would you be opposed to finding out how you might be able to make 5 to 8K a month with appointment setting fully online? You see, inside these brackets, I just replace this one with what I'm offering, right? Quick questions. Quick questions. What? Okay. Quick question. Can you handle more clients? Question mark. That's it. I think you guys as a setters can definitely use that because your main purpose is to get people more booked calls and ultimately just help them sign more deals by booking those qualified calls. So I think this is something that you can literally use right now without actually, I would say, optimizing it. But once you test it out, obviously your next step would be to optimize it so you can see if it even works for you or not. Because it all depends on the personal brands, I would say. For example, one opener can work for me, whereas for you, it might not be that useful, right? So it all depends on the specific situation that you're setting for. I might be able to multiply by X your sales every month with your unique mechanism. Would you be opposed to hear more about it? If you're working, let's say, can you remind me, Kyle, who is it that you're working for? A guy in IG, he's an IG coach, right?
Yeah, like faceless Instagram theme pages.
Okay, and does he promise anything?
Yeah, like but it's more like, oh, like I promise that I'll help you build a business and sort of like automate it, if that makes sense. Like get people to like make the content and then you'll
Hmm.
generate funds through like
Okay,
monetizing it, brand
then
deals and such. Yeah.
if you're an outbound setter for something like that, you obviously just optimize this opener for your specific thing. I might be able to 3x your sales every month with, I would say, a faceless automation thing, whatever, would you be opposed to hear more about it, right? That's how it is. A pretty simple example. Then, if there was a way you could multiply by X your sales every month with your unique mechanism, would you be opposed to hearing more? You see, boys, here, this one is the key. Actually, two things. Multiply by X and your unique mechanism. Like I said, layout is the same, but you want to optimize it for your specific offer. Then, these were all direct approaches where you are respecting your prospect's time, which also makes them respect you. Like I said, you don't want to lead them for too long because they can definitely see through it, especially in B2B space. People just see through it and you're definitely going to get ghosted. And I can't lie. Still, to this day, I'm being left on scene because I'm not like perfect. I'm not some Jeremy Miner guy because obviously I need way more time to test the things out in order to just have 100% rate at everything, right? And I'd even doubt that Jeremy Miner has such a rate. He also probably gets left on scene. There are also probably some objections that he can't handle, but you see the point. The key here is in improvement. And these were all direct approaches. However, here are a few indirect approaches that you can use where you will try to find your way around their defenses by showing mutual interests. One of those examples was the one I'm using, name drop, right? Which is obviously literally assuming familiarity. And you can also say, I noticed that you also follow Jeremy Miner. Have you watched his recent live where he talked about whatever? Grant Cardone, Jeremy Miner, those guys are always like streaming on IG, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, and you can literally use that one in your favor. Your recent reel about certain topic is so true, man. Obviously, this is the key. The layout might be shit, if I'm being honest. Your recent reel about is so true, man. If you ask me right now, I would just change it. But when I was using this one maybe a year ago, it was very efficient, and that's why I put it here. But the key or the goal here is to point out the specific topic the reel is about. Then it's gonna make your opening relevant, and it's gonna actually give you a direct reason on why you're messaging them. Now I see why their recent big win. You're not overcomplicating them, but just giving them, I would say, a one compliment to show that you respect what they've been through. Let's say if they've been through some trenches with their business. If, for example, I know one guy, just today I saw his reel where he said that his $5 million a year business fell through, it completely fell apart, and he needed to start from scratch, and I used that one to reach out to him. No wonder, for example, I said, uh, without your business falling apart, you wouldn't be able to tell such a sick story. Just curious, how is it going right now, or how is the process of rebuilding it going? Something along those lines. And it actually worked. I got the reply. Then the last one is story reply. Pretty simple. The goal is to come up with something that is fully related to the story that you're replying to, and you can even go to their story highlights and reply to a story showing a testimonial. You can see that I didn't put a literal example right here because it all depends on what story you're replying to, but you always make sure to finish with a question, which logically further conversation will expand from. When you, I would say, set that first impression, that's how your entire conversation is gonna go. Really, really simple stuff, boys. So that would be it from that presentation. I'm sharing it to Telegram. Let me know if you boys can see it, because you, Callum, said that you need to pay for something. Is that correct?
I actually haven't. I can find a link now actually and see.
Does the link work?
Do you know what? I'm using my work laptop and it's blocked the link. But if I used it on my personal, it'll probably work actually. I'm just gonna copy and paste it. So,
Wait. Full access. Publish. Now you should be able to see it. Wait a sec. I'm gonna delete this one. Delete for everyone. Now. Because I needed to publish something here.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect.
I
Perfect.
think Naomi was saying that you couldn't save it. I think that's what you were saying last time.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, I literally pinned it here in the Monday Battalion group, so you boys can just have it whenever you want. And I'm actually gonna do it with this one as well, because yeah, like we stated previously on our last battalion, everything is business, so I don't wanna pay like $15 for something like that. Okay. Any questions, boys? Q&A? Something you might be struggling with?
I think it's more like curiosity actually because I feel like we're sort of like trying to like reach out to like accounts like when you're just like sort of like prospecting for a client. Like, have you guys ever like does the indirect approach like actually work for you guys? I feel like direct always works like when you're doing like cold outbound for that. So I was
Mm.
just sort of like seeing if there's like a way to sort of like expand my skill set.
Okay, I see. So what would you say is more appropriate for you?
I think like when you outbound to accounts, right? Like I think that these are like quite busy people, and you sort of just want to get straight to the point, if that makes sense. So say for example, if you like replied to like a story, and I thought, and I say something like, oh, like that's super cool, like what are you guys doing out there, or like I feel like it doesn't work as well as like getting straight to the point, if that makes sense.
Mm. Okay, so something that I'm utilizing currently is a complete indirect approach. That's something that has been working for me the most. And let me explain what am I doing from there after I get the reply. After I get the reply, I usually send a voice note. First of all, because there's another study that I read somewhere that you
Good, yeah.
sending a voice note or other prospects, people hearing your voice before hopping on a call with you actually increases the chances of your deal getting closed. I don't know the psychology behind it, but it actually works because when you hop on a call with someone without actually ever seeing them or hearing their voice, you kind of get surprised. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but it
I
just works
know.
that way. And then after I send that indirect approach, I send a voice note by just slightly implying what is it that I'm doing, why am I reaching out to them, and obviously I'm not pitching them, I'm not being salesy or whatever, because that's the fastest way for me to get ghosted. But I just send a voice note and finish it off with a question that will bring me one step closer to the ultimate goal, which is booking the call. And that's it. That's it, bro. That's how indirect approach has been working for me the best in the past year, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try
Especially in
that.
B2B space.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like you said, people are definitely busy, and I would say they're sick and tired of these guys just having pointless conversations with them. It gets them nowhere. And after all, no one likes being sold to, so yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
would
it's
personally
definitely.
stick up with indirect.
I will try the voice note actually because I suppose it sort of allows you to go around their like defenses like a little bit because you're sort of showing like who you are. It's not just like a
Yeah.
vague conversation in the DMs. So yeah, no, I'll definitely try and track it. Yeah,
And you know what? There's one more thing actually. When you send a voice note, I mean, you literally put your time and effort into sending a voice note.
yeah,
Whereas with your appointment setting where you're just sending a DM, you can literally just have a list of questions that you're asking every single person and you just copy pasted it. They don't know if you copy pasted it or actually put your time into asking them a question. So you sending a voice note is definitely something that shows you as a real human being. And also you can just put this informality in place and you can also utilize your own voice. You can just adjust the tonality and lower their defenses by doing so. Jeremy Minor is always like, when asking a question, he just adds a curiosity tone in it. For example, how's your business going? Asking a question like this is not as good as genuinely curious, bro. How's your business going? You see the difference,
yeah.
and that's just actually how it is, and that's one more benefit of sending a voice note.
You don't get the same tonality if you sort of like type it out. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely, yeah,
Because you asking someone, yo, bro, I'm curious, how's your business going? Is not good because you're literally just sounding like a robot. But asking it with a tonality, proper tonality, genuinely curious, bro, how's your business going? Walk me through it a bit more. Those kinds of things are definitely useful, and I would say in a long run, it definitely helps you because I've built multiple relationships and friendships in this space just by being genuine and adjusting my own tonality, informality, and stuff to my own prospects. I have one prospect from US, I have another prospect from UK, and then I just try to use their slangs. I try to just get myself to their level, both
yeah.
conversationally and I would say like a guy trying to share the same qualities because if I resonate with someone the most, I'm definitely gonna choose him over someone else that's just doing his job.
Definitely, yeah. No, I follow 100%.
Yep. Hope that helps, bro.
No, I answered it quite well actually. I'm gonna go away and actually try like for some reason I don't know why I haven't tried it, but yeah, the voice messages I'm gonna try it and also like track it and just see how that goes alongside with like the other approaches as well.
I would say you guys definitely have the advantage over me because you guys are native English speakers and you definitely have this native accent. Whereas I'm literally like, I would say a foreigner, right? They can definitely see me not being English, me not being from US, and that kind of, I would
Yeah,
say, makes me, I would say that makes me put even more efforts into it in order to actually make it work.
yeah,
Because yeah, I just need to think more than someone else, like let's say than you guys, because for you guys it comes naturally. But I literally need to just put all of my efforts into that voice note to actually be efficient, to turn out efficient and effective.
yeah. I suppose in terms of like authenticity as well,
Yep.
like if that makes sense, that you're not trying to make it sound like you're pretending. But I follow, yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it is, bro, and that's a reality, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I can't change it, you know.
No, you're doing better than most people, so so it's good, yeah.
Fair, bro. Thanks for that. Anyways, I would like to hear some questions from you, Sally.
So in regards to everything you said today, the best I can do is just try it out. Obviously, you've got 16 messages there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fire them out, put them on a spreadsheet, see what gets the best response rate. Um, Kyle had a similar thought to me, which is I don't know how much indirect approach would work, but I'll give it a try. You get me? It's never put your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
Yep,
When
absolutely.
it comes to questions, I think I've took in everything you said today. But with this phone call tomorrow, just out of curiosity, what sort of questions do you think my man's gonna throw at me, and what questions you think I should be prepared to ask him? Yeah,
You know
because those
what?
are
I think you literally have the best resource possible for something like that. It's called Sales Code Structure in Alpha Setters program. And my number one advice for you right now would be to just immediately after this call, just go and watch it, bro. And take a piece of paper, take a pen, and write some notes down. First of all, on what business your guy that you're gonna be having a call with tomorrow is running, and then just come up with some sorts of questions, preferably 5 or 6 questions that you're gonna ask him tomorrow. Examples of some questions would be, actually, let me find it inside of my own program. Examples would be, first of all, because you're a setter, you can ask him, generally curious, what's the biggest problem you're facing with your business, or to just, I would say, make it even more personalized is, I'm curious, bro, like, what makes you even hop on a call with me today? What makes you hear me out on how I might be able to scale your business? And then from there, you're literally gonna see the direct reason why they're on a call with you. And from there, just dive deeper into those things. Let's do a quick role play here. You ask me, generally curious, bro, what makes you hear me out more? What makes you hear more about what I can offer you as a setter, or about landing more deals with me as your commission based setter, whatever? And then I just say, bro, I don't have that much time. I would just like for my business to run by itself. You know, I don't want to know life in my DMs like 5 6 hours a day because I have some other more important tasks to do. And then from there you just dive into it a lot deeper. For example, okay, bro, that's definitely something that I can help you with. Just curious, how many calls are you booking by yourself at the moment per week? You see? And then from there he just gives you the number, and you, I would say, build your way up to the ultimate goal, which is to land that deal. But when it comes to questions, yeah, it all depends on what your guy, what business is your guy running. So just go and watch Sales Call Structure, bro. But to give you a better idea, those are the questions that I was asking 2 years ago when I hopped on my first ever sales call.
yeah, man. Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, and just take care of your tonality. Take care that you genuinely sound like interested, you know, that you're not here because, yeah, you just want to make money for yourself. The goal is you as a setter want to prove yourself to him. Speed is the key to success. You want to get started with, you want to get to work with him, I would say, as soon as possible, because there's no time for wasting. You can say something along the lines of, bro, my goal is to just make 5K a month by the end of this year, which is obviously in about 20 days. And he's gonna realize how hungry you are, how
Is to
willing.
make what? Sorry.
That was just an example. You can
Oh,
even,
alright.
I would say, exaggerate a bit. You can say, bro, my personal goal is to quit 9 to 5 by the end of this year, you know? And he's gonna realize that you're ready to do whatever it takes to reach your goal. And also, if he asks you about personal experience, about the experience you got in this sales game, never say, yes, bro, I'm new into this, but no worries, I'm ready to grind, because you don't want to justify yourself like a bitch, you know? That's what Tammy taught me. And you just want to be a man and be real, I would say. You can say confidently, like, yes, bro, I've invested into my personal training. I'm young, hungry, with a lot of time on my end, ready to prove myself, ready to stack some big commissions for myself and make more money for you. When can we get started? You know, those
They
kind of.
like that answer, to be fair, man. Like even if you haven't got the experience, like when you say, yeah, like I've paid XYZ for this training, like they tend to actually quite like that answer, even if you
Yeah.
don't have like the direct experience. So it's quite a good way to sort of go about it, really.
Yeah, it absolutely is, because that's you're literally your ticket to landing that deal, I would say. Because I would say that you investing into your professional education separates you from all these other guys that are, oh, bro, let me think about it. That's just a lot of money for me, because, bro, you're literally ready to do whatever it takes to succeed at this game. And that's what makes you stand out from all the other geeks. That's why you want to be top 1%, you know. But you justifying yourself, like this example that I've just said, or another example like, yeah, bro, I've been on multiple interviews already, but they didn't hire me. I'm looking for something. It also kind of shows you in a desperate state, I would say. And to go around that, you can just say, yes, bro, I've been on multiple interviews. Unfortunately, none of them were looking for a long-term setter. And I'm just here looking for a long-term position. I want to make money for you guys, let's say, for the next year or so. Because when I was working with Temi, we worked together for literally a year, an entire year, compared to some other, I would say, companies I worked for before. I worked with them for about month and a half, and it never turned out good. So what you want to emphasize on is just the fact that you're looking for a long-term position, because you're not here to get money and dip away, you know. You're literally there to help them build and scale their company, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just another perspective to go with, I would say.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Any other questions? In about 10 minutes, I've got another call, so
Yeah, I think I'm good for now, actually.
Yeah, I'm all good to be fair.
perfect. You too?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Okay, boys, you're gonna be able to see the recording if you want